and you know, start back my knockout streak. I think my last knockout was my second fight, or my third fight, and I knocked out another world champion who was from Germany that was 17-0 with 9 knockouts. So to knock out Vanessa tonight at heavyweight, I just feel like, yeah, made me love boxing some more, and I can't wait to fight again.
Claressa, newfound powers as a heavyweight.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you're going back down anytime soon.
You know, we got 10 days to decide. Of course, I think that I can campaign at any weight class, you know, and it is some tough challenges at heavyweight. So I'm gonna let me and my team put our minds together and see what's the best choice and what makes the best sense. But if we want to come back here in December and fight one of the other girls who got a world title at heavyweight, I wouldn't be against that. But the newfound power does feel good. It fucking shocked me. I'm not gonna lie.
But you could feel it though, couldn't you? I mean, you could feel it in your hands, you could feel it in your shoulders the moment that she went down and the way in which you put her down, each and every time.
Yeah, you know, I seen the first round. I went out there very, very cautious. Like, I'm not a dumb fighter. You know, Vanessa's arms and her legs, her back, and everything was bigger than mine. So, I mean, it was bigger, but I guess it wasn't stronger. But I was paying attention to that. And I just like, you know what? I know she's going to come in swinging hard. And I believe that every fight, every person has a 10% factor of knocking somebody out. So I felt like she had that 10% factor, and I didn't want to get knocked out. So I went in there on my jab. I had got her timing a little bit. I countered her. When I countered her with that hook in the first round, I thought it was about to be over then. But I only hit her with 2 punches in the first round. I really wasn't, no, probably 3. I hit her with a jab, a hook, and maybe, was it an uppercut or something? I don't know, but I was definitely going to work her body, especially when I seen how strong she was first round. And then second round, she just ran up on me. So it was like, shit, fuck the jab. Hit her with a right hand and a hook and see what happened. Do I feel like it's my best performance? I haven't seen it. I've had some great performances. Is it my best knockout? Absolutely. But is my best performance? Man, I have fought so many great fighters, and I have looked very, very good. Maybe I have to go look, because the way that I grade myself and how y'all grade me is completely different. So something y'all see as an A+ performance, I see it and I'm like, dang, that's a C+ or that's a D to me. So I have to actually see it and see if I did everything right. And if it's an A+, I think I can say that it's my best performance.
Claressa, what was it about this performance that made your power shine so much? Because you came in there and dropped her that quick. You know, I was here for your last fight against Cornejo as well. Was it how much Vanessa was coming forward, or was it all the lifting you did to help you come up to heavyweight that made your power be so evident this time?
Shout out to my strength coach, Big Broad. You know, Broderick Washington was my strength coach for this fight from my hometown, Flint, Michigan. We've been working on my power for about a year now. And even working on my power when I was at 60. So coming to 75, not having to lose all that weight. You know, the fight against Cornejo, I had to lose 35 pounds to make that fight, and I did it within 7 weeks. And, you know, it's mind over matter, so I did what I had to do. It was a little tough to make the weight, but I made it, and I fought well. But I just felt so strong at 175, not having to lose that weight. And actually being able to focus on my power. Like when I started this journey to this fight 2-3 months ago, I actually gained 15 pounds of nothing but muscle, to where I had to lose 5 pounds to actually make the 175 weight. So I think we was very strategic with that. I was able to eat all my grains and everything, and I did feel strong tonight. And I'm a little scared of myself.
Claressa, this is Michael K from Detroit Rap Radio, also Afternoon Sports Night. Listen, I'm from the west side of Detroit. We are so proud of you.
Thank you.
You are great.
Thank you.
I gotta ask you, you know, what does the fire inside mean to you, especially with your movie about to come out?
You know, at first the movie was called Flint Strong, right? And then they changed the name to The Fire Inside, and I said, that makes so much sense. The fire that burns inside of me to be a boxer, to want greatness, to want all the things that I want in boxing. that's what it started as. It was just the fire inside of me and my hope and my belief, you know. And I believe that God put that fire in me because I'm the woman who's supposed to take women's boxing to the next level. And I believe that I have. The fire inside of me is still burning. Like the little girl in me is still trying to heal herself and, you know, get all the anger out of her, you know, and kind of live in this grown woman body, you know. So I'm happy for the fire inside of me, and when it burns out, then I guess I'll stop boxing. But I love boxing. I love the sport of boxing. I love all the girls that box, regardless of all the trash talk and everything. I love Amanda. I love Katie. I love Michaela Mayer. You know, it's a lot of girls who I love in boxing. Caroline Du Bois, I can go on and on. Like, I love those girls and I love what they bring to the sport because we're all different in our own right. And we all bring something different to the table. So boxing has just made me happy. It gave my life a purpose. And with me having a purpose, I've given other people's life a purpose. So that's what I think the fire inside really means, is just kind of chasing your purpose.
Claressa, I believe JJ mentioned your
I'm sorry, hold on one second. I just want to make sure there's some incredible facts I want to make sure you will walk out of this room with. Claressa is the first woman ever to be a middleweight champion and win a heavyweight championship. We talked about that she was going to try to do it. She is now the first woman ever to do that. And she is well-deserved. And she is the second person in the last 100 years to do it, meaning the only other person that did it in the last 100 years was a man, Roy Jones, who did it, I think it was 2003 or 4, if someone knows, 3, with John Ruiz. So the second person in 100 years. I mean, it's ridiculous. So I was going to say something before. It was a spectacular performance. It was a historic performance. This is something that lives forever. There are wins, and then there is history. This was history. Happened to be spectacular history, but make no mistake about it, history is what she did tonight.
Claressa, at the pre-conference, I asked you, what would your 11-year-old self say to you in that moment? But I must know now, what would your 11-year-old self say to you right now?
I think my answer to you the other day was, you did that, girl. You know, I think that my 11-year-old self would tell me that I was right. You know, at the age of 11, I started boxing, but 13, I started my journey on the Olympics, where I won my first one when I was 17. And, you know, being a skinny little girl, you know, in a gym full of men and little boys, and I'm boxing, and I'm going to school with a black eye, and I got bruises and stuff like that. People was like, yeah, she is crazy. This girl talking about she going to the Olympics, and she going to be a boxing champion. And people did look at my big aspirations as being crazy, but the 11-year-old girl, the 12, 13-year-old girl was just like, we gonna make this happen. You know, we love boxing, and we don't care who don't love boxing, and we don't care about the gender of it either. You know, in the gym that I was at, I was the best boxer in the gym amongst all the boys. And coach didn't let me slack. If he hated when I lost in races, he would say, he would call me a loser. You know, he would say, pick it up. You know, he hated when I lost in sparring. The only time he praised me is when I won. You know, so even winning, sometimes he'd be like, yeah, you won, but that was a B+ or a C performance. So for me, it was like I was always being pushed to be the best, even in the gym full of men. So I just know that my 11-year-old self was right, and my 13-year-old self was right, my 16-year-old self was right, and I'm 29 now. And hey, she right too, yeah.
Hey, Claressa, where does this, when you start getting out of boxing, and you start thinking about the top athletes of all time, 3-time undisputed, 15-time world champion, where do you feel this puts you when you start stacking yourself against the conversation of Michael Jordan, Tom Brady, and Williams and tennis?
I mean, honestly, with being the greatest woman of all time, people may not look at boxing as being one of those top sports for whatever reason, but what I've been able to do in my career, from the amateurs to the pros now, I'm definitely top 5, you know. If you want to put me up there next to Michael Jordan, you want to put me up there next to Kobe, Serena Williams, Muhammad Ali, you know, I am definitely in that conversation, but that's the thing. I don't really care what people be thinking about me, you know what I'm saying, or what they, is she this or is she that. I'm number one in every category that you can name. To me, I'm number one, you know, so with me being number one, I don't really care if somebody else think I'm not number one. Like, what they think don't matter, because if you live by the compliments, you'll die by the insults, and I'm just not one of them people. I think that I give myself grace and know that I'm not perfect, you know, and I'm still growing and I'm still learning in this sport, so I'm not worried about that. I know one day when everybody in here die and all of us die, at least I'll be somebody who's still getting talked about. Like, people will still talk about me and my boxing and my legacy in my life, you know, so that's all that really matters to me. Thank you.
Claressa, was there anything that surprised you or shocked you or made you take a step back in the ring? Because you caught her with more than a few shots that popped her head back and made her eyes open, like, okay, I wasn't prepared. Was there anything that surprised you or shocked you in the ring, make you recalibrate your game plan?
Nah. Coach told me this whole camp, every round I sparred, he said, go in there and take your time. You don't gotta have no flashy hands. Sit on your punches, sit on your shots. He said it to me every round. So right before the bell started, you can go back and watch it. Coach John was still in the ring talking to me. He was like, hey, he looked at me, he said, go in there, take your time, don't rush your shots. You're gonna land the shots and you're gonna put this girl out. And I looked at him and I said, okay. So, cause usually I go out there with the fast hands, the fast feet, but I said, you know what? Coach said, take your time. So even though I wanted to throw 100 punches, cause I was a little excited, I went out there and threw 10 punches, landed 3, and hurt her with a hook. And then I was shocked second round that she tried to just run up on me. I think her coach said something like, oh, she's scared of your power. I thought to myself, what the fuck is he talking about? That's what I thought to myself, but I said, whatever. Go ahead and talk your talk, coach. But I knew when she ran up on me second round, because I was about to start beating her up to the body, because I'm like, you know, I do feel her shots, even though she's missing. I was feeling the wind off of her. I said, you know what, she a little heavy. So I was about to start breaking her down to the body, but her chin just couldn't stand up. When I got to landing those headshots and I seen she was really hurt, in my mind, I was just like, let's go ahead and finish this shit. Let's go. And my right hand is strong right now. It's been strong this whole time, but it's really strong at 175.
Okay, a couple more.
Garcia with Fight Hype. You obviously just made history. You know, it was just mentioned, first woman to go from middleweight to heavyweight, win championships in both divisions. What's next for you? What do you, if you had it your way, what do you see as a mega fight for Claressa Shields? What takes you to that next level? If there is a next level that you want to reach?
There's always a next level. And I think whoever I fight against, people going to come out and see it, you know, but I want to fight against the best. Tonight we had a world champ, a girl at heavyweight fight tonight, Danielle Perkins. She built like Evander Holyfield. She's somebody to be reckoned with. You know, I'd love to fight against her. We got Lonnie Daniels at heavyweight. I'm trying to think, what's the other champion name? Yeah, then we got 2 other champions at 168, my sister Franchon Cruz, and then we got Savannah Marshall, I already beat, you know, but the best fights, you know, I think all these girls talk about weight classes and all that stuff, but if you're really bad, if you're really bad, you can go to any weight class and reign. So far, I've been at junior middleweight, super middleweight, and now light heavy and heavyweight. So when all these girls was talking about all that weight class stuff, it's like, can you fight or not?
How many
That's
people,
it.
How many people were undisputed world champions in 3 divisions?
It's just me.
So,
It's just
what she
me.
goes for, history.
We got a question back here.
You put a
Go
lot of
ahead.
Vaseline on my Facebook.
You were talking about being an inspiration. What do you want to say to all 11, 12, 13-year-old girls out there right now that aren't in the sport or that? And how important is it coming up through the amateur line, such as Golden Gloves and that?
I never fought the Golden Glove. That's the only term I identified in. But to all the little girls and everything who want to be athletes and stuff, my advice to them is don't be afraid to be different. Boxing and even being a person who's in sports, being a young girl, it's kind of still looked at as abnormal, even though we have women's sports kind of reigning right now. You just have to not let people opinions of what you should be doing take over your mind. You know, like I said, when I was boxing, everybody called me crazy, especially at the age of 11. So my advice to all the girls is don't be afraid to be different. Listen to your heart. You know, follow your dreams. And if the fire inside of you is burning about something, it's burning for you for a reason, and you need to follow that path.
One of the young ladies who's following your path is now trying for a gold medal in Paris, Morel McCain.
Yes.
She said recently on one of her posts that there will never be another growth, that you're the best that's ever done it, and all she needs to do is try to be in the shadow of that. When you hear that from someone who is trying to win a gold medal, and you know you've done it twice, and yet they say that you are the one, and they say that they want to be in your shadow, that's respect, but at the same time, that's exactly what he's talking about, the inspiration of others who want to be like you.
Mm-hmm.
Not like Mike, but like you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Claressa, this is Kiana Banks from Kita Sports. I really just wanted to ask, right, as a black woman, having that vision that's instilled in you of something that you've never really seen, what were your steps that you took to really manifest that and allow God to expand your territory?
Honestly, so many things that happened to me in boxing that I really couldn't explain. They told me I was too young to go to the first Olympics 2012. And I seen the paperwork, and the paperwork said I was too young, and I was about to quit boxing and never box again because the situation I was in, you know, being poor and being broke, and that's not me not having no bed and us not having no food. I just was like, I can't live 4 more years like this. So if boxing ain't paying me no money, I'm about to quit. I'm finna get me a job. But I remember talking to, I prayed to God. I said, God, I'm not asking you to give me an easy route. I'm asking you to give me a chance to fight against these older women. Because I was 16 at the time when I started my Olympic journey. And I said, all I'm asking for is just a chance. You know, I don't want you to, you know, make it easy for me. Like, I'll go out there and I'll fight and I'll do my best against these girls because they're bigger, they're stronger, and they're older with more experience. But I don't want to be discriminated against because of my age. And when I said that prayer, it wasn't nobody but God who changed the paperwork. You know, first I was 6 months too young, and then all of a sudden, my coach called me when I was at school in computer class. He said, go to this website and print out this paper. And I printed it out, and I said, what's this? He said, we're going to the PAL. I said, yeah, but we're going at the age 16. Like, we're not going at 17 through 41. He said, read it. And I read it, and it said, I had to be 17 by, April 27th, by the next year. And my birthday was March 17th. So I was a month and maybe like 7 days old enough where I just made the deadline. So I printed out like 10 of them papers, and I ran all around the school, and I kept telling everybody to read it. And they was like, what that mean? I said, I'm going to the Olympics. That's what it means. And so I started my journey, and I started fighting, and all the odds was against me, you know, and it's not even, I don't know, you know, Jeremiah 29:11, for I, God, know the plans I have for you, plans to give you hope in the future, plans for you to prosper. And it don't say to give you, like, for you to prosper right now. It say in the future, you know. So what I was going through right at that time, it may have felt like it was terrible, but God was just like, for I, God, know the plans I have for you, plans to give you hope and give you a better future. So it was like, I'm looking forward to the future. I can't focus on where I'm at right now. You know, so I fought through those tournaments without a bed and without having food and stuff. But, you know, God made it easy for me to deal with. And it instilled a lot of grit in me. And it taught me that, look, ain't nobody going to take care of you. Like, you got to take care of yourself. And you got to take care of your brothers and your sisters. And you're going to be the one. So I put all my hard work and all my heart into boxing. And I just trusted that God would be with me. And I lost my first fight right before I went to the Olympics. I was 26-1. And many people in here don't know what it's like to be undefeated and lose at something. But I was undefeated. I had beat everybody, and I lost. And it's so crazy. I had won all these fights in the amateurs, but then when I got back home and lost at the World Championships by it was a close fight too. all everybody kept talking about was how I lost. And so it was like, forget my 26 wins, we gonna talk about this one loss, you know. So I just remember, it's another thing in the Bible when it says God knows your heart. God knew that I wanted to be Olympic champion. Now you got to be specific with your prayers. I didn't say I wanted to be undefeated on my way to being an Olympic champion. Like, I've come to terms with that. Like, I didn't say that. I said, God, I want to go to the Olympics and I want to win a gold medal. I didn't say I wanted to be undefeated on the way to doing that. So the loss made me so mad and hurt my feelings so much that when I got back in the gym, I didn't even talk. It was like I went from running 2 miles every day to running 4 miles one day, 6 miles the next, and I would alternate it. And I would run on Sunday after I got done from church, and I would just sit in church and just cry because I was so mad. And then I got to go to school with everybody talking about some, oh yeah, you lost the fight, da, da, da. And I had to ignore them and just kind of like keep watching the fight over and over again. Like, how did I lose this fight? Never feeling like I lost, but my relationship with God, you know, I can go on and on, but my relationship with God, he told me, like, you needed this loss. You know, as bad as it hurt me, he told me I needed it, you know. So when God tell you need something, of course you don't understand till you get to the end goal. But when he told me I needed that loss, I said, how? You know, why? And then once I won the Olympics, you know, God came and talked to me again. He said, because you weren't working hard enough. You know, had you won the world championships, like, because I beat her in that fight, but they gave it to her. God let me know, had I gave you that fight, you would have got a bronze medal at the Olympics. You asked me to get a gold medal. So I needed you to push harder and do more. You know, so I have come to terms with that. And I just know that now I don't underestimate nobody. I work extremely hard, and I push myself to the limits. And that's just how you just gotta trust the process and trust God. Like, it may not make sense to you, but it definitely makes sense to the man upstairs.
All right, last question,
What's
guys.
going on,
Let
Rissa?
Claressa go and enjoy.
This is Caro from the Faces of Boxing Podcast TV. Please let everybody know, how was your camp? I know you had a hard, gruesome camp, hard sparring partners. And look, we want to see you come to Atlanta and sell out State Farm Arena.
Hey, now.
Straight up. But
Hey.
just let the people know, how was that camp in Atlanta?
One, shout out to Atlanta, shout out to Hitsville Gym. You know, I had such a great training camp. Frank John came to my training camp. I got to spar with a man named Demetrius, who was 190 pounds. My first time sparring him, he roughed me up. It is funny because, you know, people be like, oh, she's so cocky and stuff. But it's like, no, I'm real. He roughed me up, and I had went home and I watched the sparring, and I said, oh, I can't even watch this shit. He beat me up, you know. But then I got back in the gym and I just kept sparring and kept working. And then last time that we boxed, before I came out and headed here, I was able to piece Demetrius up and push his big ass back up off me. And I said, all right, we getting somewhere. I guess you're ready for the heavyweight division. But I just appreciate him coming and giving me those rounds. I appreciate Franchon Cruz, the heavy hitting diva, you know, for coming out and giving me those rounds too. And I want to thank her, you know, just today. I'm Serena, and Franchon she is my Venus, you know. And she spoke life into me today. And it was people don't know what all I've been going through this camp, you know, dealing with family and stuff, and dealing with people just always finding an issue and a problem. So I thank Franchon for just coming and calming my spirit and reminding me about who I was, you know, telling me to make sure that I focus. And she just spoke so much life into me, and you don't really find females like that in boxing. And I just appreciate her because I feel like this victory tonight should go to her too. You know, she was right there with me. I've been knowing her since I was 16. I actually ruined her dreams of going to the Olympics, but for us to have that relationship, we fought against each other when we was pro debuts against each other, and we hit each other hard as hell. It's like we really love each other. And she ain't no hater, and I just appreciate her for speaking life into me today because I was having like a little mental breakdown or whatever, and she came and got me together, and I don't think nobody else would have been able to do that tonight. So I thank her. I thank everybody who's been on my team and been rocking with me. I love y'all, and I can't wait to go back to Atlanta and train some more. Peace out, Heathfield. Love y'all.
Hey!